Is Hannibal here with some sad news. A man that I've done two interviews with, and I've known him for many years now. My first interview with him was 2017, but I knew him for years before that. Tony Jones from Beyond the Mat, also known as Shooter Tony Jones, most famous for his role in Beyond the Mat, the first real behind the scenes wrestling film that came out in the late 90s, where he had a tryout match with Mike Modest on that show and was seen a lot with Roland Alexander. Of course, Tony Jones was one of the mainstays of all pro wrestling and a longtime independent wrestler from the San Francisco Bay Area. He was there, I believe, when the Great Khali accidentally killed someone at the All Pro Wrestling Training School. He was an accomplished amateur wrestler. He lost his daughter to cancer in 2014, and she was only 14. It's sad that he just turned 53. His birthday was the first day of WrestleMania, day one of WrestleMania this year. It's unknown how what was his cause of death. The last contact I had with him was, I guess I had a health issue last July and he had reached out to me about that. We had some brief contact. I had no idea there was anything wrong with him. If you look in the description of this video, I put the links to my two interviews with him. Also, just last year, both John Paz and Jack Kilby did an interview with him for this channel. So it's shocking that he passed away. He seemed very healthy, but you never know. Even Rob Van Dam said it in the interview I recently did with Rob Van Dam. Everyone thinks they're going to outlive their pet, but are they? You never know when you're going to die. So live every moment to its fullest. And I'm really, really sorry to hear that he passed away. And I'm sure there'll be more on this channel about him. He was a great guy in my dealings with him. As far as UFC 300 last night, did a $16.5 million gate, which is crazy considering it was a regular size arena. And I believe WrestleMania, the stadium show in Philadelphia, where tickets weren't cheap either, last weekend, I think each night did around a $17 million gate. So shows you how much more expensive UFC tickets are. And apparently the show did about double the Google searches that WrestleMania did. So UFC, despite Conor McGregor not being on that card, Justin Gaethje and Max Holloway was the biggest match on the show. People still follow UFC more than wrestling. Speaking of wrestling, the Fairmont Hotels issued an apology to Chelsea Green after she was booted out last week. I believe it was the one in New York due to people thinking she was an escort. So there you go. Chelsea Green back with WWE now after being Impact and floating around the Indies for a long time. And I think she's having her best run these days. I also have an interview with Chelsea Green on this channel. She was supposed to wrestle for Great North Wrestling years ago, but she took an extra booking, changed her flight the night before, and then there was some sort of flight delay, so she ended up missing the Great North Wrestling event, sadly. She was supposed to wrestle Lady Yasmin, who is one of the most popular independent women wrestlers of all time, if you consider the amount of hits she has on this channel. As far as Canadian independent wrestlers, she has millions and millions of hits on this channel. She quit wrestling now, but I'm still proud that like how many women wrestlers have so many matches with millions and millions of hits. But it's too bad, and I don't want to digress. But Yasmin was supposed to wrestle Chelsea Green, Tessa Blanchard, and Jordan Grace at various times. And I can only imagine how many hits those videos would have. But she was like cursed that travel issues always came up with her opponents. Sadly, she never actually wrestled like a name opponent, and she quit wrestling after having a WWE tryout in the year that they did SummerSlam in Toronto. Spooky always wondered what's up with him and the other dude. Well, if you wanna know what was up with Tony Jones, look in the description. Uh, Click on the links. He did very detailed interviews on this channel, and Mike Modest did 2 interviews on this channel last year too, one with Jack Kilby, one with, John Paz as well. So again, I'm very, very sorry to hear about his passing. One of the legends of the San Francisco wrestling area, just for the fact that that movie is so legendary and wrestling was so popular when that movie came out. And it's sad that he passed away at 53, and I hope that his family's okay. I definitely think he had another kid that was trying to start a YouTube channel.